Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to do a review of the latest episode of My Adventures with Superman. It was called Let's Go to the Ivo Tower, you say. And as it starts, Lois is still trying to figure out who Superman is because she doesn't believe anything he said when she interviewed him. Perry sends Lois, Jimmy, and Clark to a gala at the tower of a local tech mogul named Ivo to help Cat Grant with her article on him. And during this part, Jimmy calls Perry White Chief, where last time it was someone else. I think it might have been Clark, but that's a running gag. I put a clip from the original Superman show in the review video the last time someone called him Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Don't call me Chief! And is your name Kent?
No, sir, my name's Jimmy Olsen.
Don't call me Chief!
And the clip showed Jimmy Olsen calling Perry White Chief a couple of times, and Chief replying as he always did, which was, "Don't call me Chief." And so they've started doing that in this cartoon, and I think it's cool because it's a throwback to that show that I used to watch when I was a kid. Anyway, Lois, of course, goes into this gala guns blazing with probing questions for the people in attendance instead of the fluff questions that Kat wanted her to ask, but everyone's dodging her. Apparently, this CEO is having money problems, and his board is threatening to oust him from the company. And when Clark catches up to him, he asks him about some of the scandals that have been plaguing his operations, which gets him thrown out, which results in his jacket being ripped. As Lois is fixing the jacket for him, they talk about their lives, and when Lois laments the fact that she's still an intern, Clark tells her that he wasn't doing much better until he met her, and that she's changed his life for the better by, pushing him to do more. She's still pissed about the Superman thing, however, so Clark is interrupted from telling her that he's Superman after starting to do so when there's a new development at the scene of the incident. It turns out that the CEO has been working with the same kind of technology that Inner Gang and Livewire have been using, and he's got a hold of a piece of it that encloses him in some kind of an exosuit. And he plans to offer it for sale to the public as a mass-produced item. When he goes nuts and locks everyone in the building, dropping one of his board members out of the window to boot, Superman saves the board member, and it turns out that he was counting on Superman showing up so that he can demonstrate his tech on him. Then he starts throwing around the gala attendees, which Superman doesn't take kindly to. Jimmy and Lois infiltrate the control room and shut down the machine that was holding everyone in the building. Superman continues to battle the CEO, and when his suit malfunctions, he collapses and is changed into an almost mummified person. It was kind of gross, actually. Clark and Lois then share a kind of a kissy-smoochy moment in the aftermath, and Clark ends up walking Lois home. But soon she's back at the planet to type up an article, and in the archives she finds some old stories in storage, including a page from a book about a mysterious hero in Smallville that Clark had ripped out of a book to keep him from finding it. But then he stored it in his jacket pocket where she found it because he gave her his jacket when she was cold after the incident. And as the episode ends, after looking at all the articles together, she figures out that Clark is Superman. So this show continues to be okay. I like some of the elements, like they're doing the callback to, calling Perry Chief. And I did like the moments between Clark and Lois where you can see they're kind of falling for each other, which is funny because, in a lot of iterations of Superman, that never happens. And in the ones where it does, it takes a long time. So it's kind of interesting that they're doing it like within 3 or 4 episodes. And on top of that, she finds out that he's Superman or kind of figures it out, which again, never happened. Or if it did, it wasn't until way later in their relationship in other iterations. So, I mean, it's getting interesting, I guess, on that front because it's going to change the dynamic right away. So we'll have to see where that goes. This was, I guess, the 4th actual episode, but they're counting it as the 3rd. So I guess there are 2 more because they're counting the first 2 episodes as 1. So there are 2 more episodes. So, like I say, I'm liking it well enough. I'm going to watch the rest of it and I'll be back to review those episodes. But that's really all there is to say. There's nothing spectacular about the show. I mean, the Superman parts are cool where he's fighting bad guys, but, it's nothing spectacular. It's just kind of, But anyway, I'll be back to review the next episode once it's released. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.